going into the fight all were world champions. He's never ducked anybody, he's taken anybody on. How can anybody reasonably or feasibly argue that he isn't one of the greatest that there has been?
Well, unfortunately, Tim, there hasn't been the opponents in his division, like when Muhammad Ali was fighting and Larry Holmes fought these guys, the Ken Nortons, the Joe Frazier's, the George Foremans. They made the division great, didn't they, back in those days? Whereas Klitschko has been a victim of his own success in many ways, because his style of boxing has meant that many people says it's boring, but that was nothing boring about this tonight. And he was in against a #1 mandatory IBF challenger, and this was a very, very good fight indeed. He showed us the power, he showed us the speed and the skill against a very, in my opinion, a good opponent.
So what about the people that say that it's the measure of greatness isn't only about who you beat, it's about who you've beaten by? And like you said, you get back to the era of Ken Norton, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, even Larry Holmes, who they were beaten against. And if you look down at the people who he was beaten by, Brewster Saunders, Ross Beardy, they say, well, there you go. I mean, that says something about him as well.
Well, Corey Sanders won a world title, didn't he?
Yeah,
So
that's right, absolutely.
Damon Brewster, world champions. It's just that this fella, since his defeat in 2004 against Brewster, he's really tightened up. And the great late Emmanuel Stewart, we spoke about this in the studio, how he's tightened him up, he's cut out all his mistakes, he's maximised what he's got, his height and his reach, and he's a tremendous boxer in terms of his technical ability, and people don't really get that. This fella's not only got a lot of speed and a lot of power, but technically he's very good, an Olympic champion in 1996, remember. So yeah, he is the real deal. And I'm sure in the back of his mind he will be looking at that Joe Louis 25 defences, successful defences of, that's the record, isn't it? And that's what he'll probably want to achieve.
Yeah, it is. 17th defence. He is drawing within touching distance of the Eastern assassin himself, Larry Holmes. It's ironic, isn't it, that you look at Larry Holmes and you look at Wladimir Klitschko, and two of them feel that they've never really been appreciated.